Hi, hello, hi, and welcome to all our hearts and minds. Thank you again for tuning in. We are here to discuss all things that are on our hearts and minds, the good, the bad, the concerning, and uplifting, or just straight talk. We're your hosts, Kimi, our passionate heart.
Yeah.
And then there's me, Jeanette, our mind and chronic overthinker. Let's get into it.
Yes, please.
All
Yes.
right, we're back again, people. We're back
Yes.
again. We're back after Canada Day long weekend. There was some drama happening, but we're here. We're back. And so before we just get into the show, happy to be back and recording and going over the nonsense and maybe not so nonsense stuff. So we'll just start with our checkup before we get into the headlines.
Yes.
So how was your week, my friend?
My week wasn't too bad. It was a shorter week because, like you said, Canada Day. We had that last week. Monday was our Canada Day, and we got the day off, so I got to stay home. But short weeks, you know what short weeks mean? Lord
Girl.
Jesus, full of everything, just mash up, bang up in the 4 days, man. I'm telling you. And you try to get through it, and I'm glad I got through it. And so another weekend has come. So it was nice weather, but I found it to be quite hot and mucky, like just
Very humid in Toronto.
very humid. But overall, I'm not complaining about the weather. That's something else I've choose to do, is not complain about the weather, because it could be very different. And
Yes.
so my week was all right. Family's good, everything is all right. You know what I mean? How about you, girl? How was your week?
Yeah, seems similar to you coming off of the long weekend. It was kind of like, I don't want to be here.
Bittersweet.
It's
Telling you.
bittersweet. Like you got the extra, extended weekend, but it just makes that week a little bit harder to get into, and then you blink and it's over, and you're like, oh shoot, I ain't getting nothing done.
Right? I'm
But
telling you.
that means it's go time. It's go time next week. Trust me.
That's right. Trust me. Gotta be.
Yeah. So, other than that, I'm in good spirits, and you know, just trying to find ways to enjoy the summer.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Lots
So
to
it's not
enjoy. Lots to enjoy.
lots to enjoy. Yeah. There's a few things coming up. Like, as we're now in July, Toronto, summer in Toronto, there's usually lots going on. I feel like I missed like the TD Jazz Festival. Like, there was some TD Jazz stuff going on in performance that I kind of, I'm sorry I missed out on. But yeah, we have Afrofest coming up. We have Caravana coming up. Um, we have Taste of the Danforth coming up. So lots of stuff coming up in the city. So yeah, so we're good. So before we go into the headline, just a quick reminder to our listeners, please continue. If you're listening, put a star, rate the podcast on Spotify or Apple. Drop your comments on YouTube or wherever else or you listen to the podcast. We appreciate the engagement. Thank you for listening. And so now, we jump into the headlines.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with our girl Teyana Taylor. She was like somebody featured in the BET Awards, which we'll be talking about in our music news. Her and her divorce, the not so clean, I'm gonna have to say it, kind of messy divorce between her and Amon Shumpert, which it's so crazy. It's so crazy
Messy.
how things just end. Divorce is messy regardless. It's probably even worse when there's both people are public figures and do pretty good for themselves, and it's very public. Their lifestyle and their like finances are very public as well, because we can look up how much Iman Shumpert made when he
Right?
was in the NBA, unfortunately, and he was really trying it. So they have finalized her divorce.
Thank God she's done with him, man.
Yep, and so that how it kind of netted out. How it netted out was that Teyana will receive 4 of their marital properties, which has an approximate value of $10 million, and she'll obviously keep her vehicles and jewelry and all the things
as she should,
as she should, and her personal companies as she should. And he will get one of the properties, which I think is like a luxury condo in Miami. and he is he must pay Taylor $8,000 a month in child support to cover their private school fees for their daughters, which isn't bad. And he was even still, I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but before the divorce was finalized in the last week or so, he was complaining about that. This multimillionaire was complaining about paying $8,000 a month for child support.
Like, I need him to go sit down someplace because he's just salty. Like, you're just salty, and it's like making you look really, really bad. And
Mm.
it makes you look like exactly why this woman should have left you in the first place. Like,
And he even was trying to say that she had more money. She made more money than
bull
him.
crap. Sorry,
There's,
Tiana, I love you, but like, girl,
well,
please.
that's realistically, come on. No, that's not, that's no, sorry, I don't believe that. Where? I mean,
When?
what?
Which part?
Yeah, she's, she does, stays busy, but there's more money in professional sports than being
Of course.
so
You sign
realistically,
you sign your first year in the league, and you could make 25 mil right off the rip. Like, what you talking about? You know how long she's had to work? This girl's been
mm,
working since she's like 13, 14 years old. Like,
right?
stop, Iman. I think that you're just salty.
Yep.
First, I want to say I never like to see black love separate,
I
but in
know.
this
Yeah.
situation, I'm glad that she has, because I could just imagine Tiana has been trying to make a way for herself through music, through dance, through acting, through all
Yeah.
sorts of ways, and
She
it
tried
just,
everything.
and I feel like a lot of people slept on her for a long
It's true.
time. Okay,
Hmm.
and for the last, I'd say, maybe 10 years, her career has really like thrived, and I
Hmm.
understand that during that time she was married to Iman, but I think that Iman is a he's I don't want to say narcissist because everybody loves to throw that name around,
Yeah, but he
but I
definitely
think
had.
that he's very much self-centered, and he's
Mm,
very much, if it's not around him or about him, then he
mm,
has a problem. And when she started to succeed, it was no longer about him, it was more about her success. And it's really, it's sad to see that he was treating her so horribly, but it's
mm.
even worse that now that you guys are parting ways, she tried to be amicable. She
Yeah.
tried to be, keep the business on the low a little bit. She wasn't
Hmm.
throwing you under no bus so that
Nope.
later on your children can see it. She was never acting that way. She tried to remain friends with you, actually. And now you, like a little salty heifer that you are, you come along, you want to try and stick it to her this way. Well, the judge saw through it, yeah, and he granted her the spousal support because you make more money than she does. Period. Next around the block is that he said, no, you're not going to get back all the gifts you gave her. Like, how salty and petty is that? Grown ass man. Like, really? Like,
Yeah, I
you
was
need
just
the gifts
looking.
that you gave her? No, you don't. You're just
Mhm.
you're trying to stick it to her in a different way.
Yep.
Tiana, go about your business, girl. Okay, I'm
Yep.
glad it's over because now he's shown his ass. Like, he's
Oh yeah,
really
he
shown
looks
his
very.
ass.
I used to think he was very attractive, but now learning all this stuff, I'm like,
Right?
mm,
Right
mm,
down the drain.
right
Mm-hmm.
down the drain. But I was just looking up what he made, and I just found the net worth, the total.
Isn't it like 200 mil or something, or close to it?
Well, you know what? Probably depending on what site, but the site that I saw, they said he was in the NBA about 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
2011 to 2021, and he made a total of 48 million, which is still a lot of bloody money.
The thing
So
is, has
where is
she
where
even seen like 10 on her own?
right? But it seems so. I think the way, because remember I said that she got a majority of their five houses. She got the. So I feel like instead of giving her money, she's getting the money in the properties
Well,
because they're
about
saying,
10 million worth, right?
yeah,
So,
exactly. So there you go. And my thing is, Amon, what did you do with all your salaries? I hope you invested it
mm,
wisely. It's not looking like you did.
not for my
Um,
business, dot, because I heard the other day a breakdown of his expenses in this divorce, and
mhm.
one of them was that he spends around $11,000 a month just on food, like just to
Lord
eat.
God.
He orders Uber Eat, like he orders out food, chef, personal chef. This is a month,
Mm-mm.
okay? So, you obviously weren't, you know budgeting or whatever. But I don't think it was about the money. It had nothing to do
No,
with the
yeah.
money. He was trying to stick it to her. He was trying to call her bluff. He was trying to make her look bad and sabotage her name. But to be quite honest, she's actually been really classy through this whole
And
situation.
gracious, considered
So
considering it. Yeah.
gracious. Oh my gosh, like a true queen. For real. Like, because she never tried to destroy this man's character.
Mm.
Never. From the rip. She was the one that was keeping it hush hush, and then he wanted to expose it to the world. All right, well, now you have the world up in our business and you're showing your ass. So now people get to see what I was really dealing with and who I was really dealing with, So, oh well.
Yeah. Oh well.
Tiana,
Just
great things are coming for you, my girl. Don't you worry. Great things are coming for you. They're on their
hmm
way.
um. Oh, so our last episode that we recorded, we were talking about, excuse me, the Fox Soul show TGIF,
Yeah.
with Claudia Jordan, Al Reynolds, and the new guy. I don't remember his name. And that show is officially canceled. We were like, oh, it was on hiatus. Let's see if it's gonna come back. They're trying to deal with the drama, blah blah blah. But unfortunately, based on Claudia Jordan's post,
Mm-hmm.
it has been canceled because she said she tried. And like you're saying, she was actually the creator and like one of the
Yeah, the
execs
concept of the actual show.
of the
Yeah, she
show. Yeah,
was.
so obviously she's very disappointed that
Yeah, she's
Fox
hurt.
sold.
She's hurt.
Yeah, and then that is not only that was more than one show because it was Cocktail like we talked about. So her other this so it's TGIF is gone, and the show that she had with Vivica and them was canceled last summer. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's feeling like ooh, wow. But
Right. Well,
she,
the reason why Queens of Cocktail with the Queens or whatever it was called,
yeah,
that was canceled is because you have actual superstars on that. Like
yeah,
Vivica Fox is a superstar. You're not paying
yeah.
her chump change. So it
Oh, it was a money
it
decision.
was a
Oh, you're
money
right.
thing because and
Mm.
then not only that but what's her name, Selena Johnson, like
Yep.
these are all superstars, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so um they're not willing to do the 250. They're
Mm-hmm.
asking for 750, 700. You know what I mean? So it was
Mm-hmm.
too expensive to produce,
Mm-hmm.
and so they had to ixnay that. However, Claudia Jordan is very intelligent. She's a bright woman, and I feel like she had all these concepts. She brought them to Fox Soul, and the only one that has kind of panned out was T.S. Madison's show. That's still kind of running right now, but
Mm-hmm.
these other two have just ixnayed, and I can't believe this is all over a roast. Like, really? A whole
Yeah.
show that's been on for 4 years is off the air because of a
Yeah, I
roast?
think it's more than that. It can't just be that.
It's so much more than that in the
Mm.
background. And I can't wait till actual facts start to drop because they will
Mm.
start to drop. And I think
Oh yeah.
Claudia has been wanting to drop actual facts, but now, contractually she has to
Yes,
keep her
that's
mouth
true.
shut. And not only that, she wants the show to be successful. So, there has to come a point where you say, okay, I'm going to put my feelings aside so the show can work. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Al Reynolds didn't do that. He was like, nah, fam, you're not about to roast me on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And like Armand Wiggins, which was the new guy, he had said, you are buddy buddy with like the big boys
Mm.
of Fox, right? And so uh I feel like there was a lot involved that's behind the scenes that has to
Mm.
it will come out and we'll find out more. For
Yeah.
now though, Al, really, you's a grown ass man. Like you should I don't know. I don't know. You should have just let this roll off, bro. Like I can understand taking your birthday weekend and like blowing off some steam, but I feel like he just went full throttle behind the scene. And
Mm.
anyway, it's done. It's
It's
over.
done. It's canceled.
Yep, canceled. Armand, you were there for literally less than 6 months, and like you're a part of a full canceled show. Funky Daniva, you knew when to run the hell up out of there. Okay, like he knew. This man has been doing his thing for a long time, and he knew when it was good time to pack it in Let me
Hmm.
pack it in, yes. And my man left quick time. And it's a good thing that he did. But to be quite honest, the show was done when he did. It
Yeah, I think so.
was.
I think so. So I think that's why, despite like, I think having a little tiff is not enough for a network to cancel a show. Because
Right? That's what
If
I'm
Armand
saying.
wasn't
Yeah.
working, they would just get somebody else, right?
Right?
But
Exactly.
anyway, it's gone. They came, they lived, and now they're canceled.
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, it sure does. They were making an impact though. I mean, their numbers were not, once Armand came, like their numbers spiked a little bit, but
Mhm.
not enough to keep paying 250,000 a year per person. I just don't
Mm-hmm.
see it. If they had Funky Dineva on the show, yeah, I think they should. The biggest mistake that they made on that show was not giving him what he wanted. I think they
Yeah,
should have gave him what he
and
wanted.
yeah,
But
but
hey,
that's a
everything
sign
comes
of.
to an end, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're going to go into. Whew, everybody's talking about this. The
Mhm.
presidential debate with the
Wow.
recent presidential debate with Biden and Trump, which whoo,
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Ay, my gosh, it was horrible.
Everybody is concerned. It was the first presidential debate for the upcoming election, which I believe is happening in November. And so,
Mhm.
not too long from now, we're in July. Mm, Less than 6 months, maybe 4.5, maybe 5 months before we have about 5 months before we
Mhm.
have that election.
Yeah.
And
Around the
whoo,
corner, boy.
people who are on the side of Biden are nervous, as they should be, because listen, we see the
Oh my.
clips. We see the clips, the jokes, the memes about Biden, like you just said, Sleepy Joe, whatever. But to have the election, the first official election, and just see him in a prolonged time, and see really where things are. He seemed very weak. He seemed very, he was answering, but he definitely wasn't as sharp as people wanted him to be. And the Democrats are nervous, as they should be. And I think there's a lot of
Yeah,
them.
because whoever ran your campaign, whoever's running the campaign, is an idiot. They're an idiot. We
Yeah.
said it last
Mhm,
episode. They
mhm.
need to focus, or no, 2 episodes ago. They need to focus less on Trump and more on what Biden has
They're-
done. And if they
yes,
had done that from the very beginning, Sleepy Joe could have came up on the debate half sleep like he usually
yeah,
is, and
yes, but
we would have got through it because people would have remembered what they have been told for the last few months. But
right.
okay,
Yeah, I think the strategy, the Democratic strategy, what, or if they even have a strategy, if you ask me, I mean, y'all are assuming that people are looking at, because Trump has these charges. Listen, Trump got more supporters with these charges
sure did.
than less, and the fact that you were
Sad but
depending
true,
on that is that you don't know the state of society that we're in,
right?
and
Okay.
even more so in the United States. Whoo. Excuse me. So
All I have to
yeah,
say to American people right now, like honestly, my heart breaks that these are your two choices. Like
yeah.
really? Like this is what you got to choose from? Really? Sleepy Joe or the felon? Really? That's what America has come to? I can't even believe I'm saying this in my lifetime to see how, as in terms of a powerhouse,
Hmm.
it's slowly crumbling right in front of me,
Hmm.
because yeah, the economy over there is horrible right now. Is kind of, it's depending on the state, it's kind of coming out slowly, but it's America's in a hot mess right now. Like they're in a
Hmm.
hot mess and they need an actual leader. And it's sad to see that this is the two choices that you guys have to choose from. When I saw the debate, I was like, Sleepy Joe, I need you to pronunciate first. Second, I need your wife to not give you praise as though you were kindergarten. Okay, like, no, you, this is your job, bro. Like, this is what you signed up to do, is to debate in these situations, to be a part of this election. Like, I don't understand what's going on, why the Democratic Party is not pulling Sleepy Joe aside and saying, "Listen, I don't know if you need a Red Bull, okay? But you can't go out there like that, sir. You can't go out there like that." So somebody get this man a Red Bull.
Yeah,
Please.
whatever they normally pump him up with, that double the dose,
Double
okay?
the
Because
dose so that he could pronunciate. Like, half the words just slurring, and also he just sounded like he was. We know that he's not drunk, but there's something impairing him,
I think he
and you can
sounded
tell.
very weak. He sounded very weak and wheezy, and he didn't sound even like. Yes, he might be. Yes, sometimes he stumbles his words or he freezes and stuff like that. So we've seen that, right? But I think with this, it just seemed like
No,
not
but when
even.
I hear what you're saying, but look, okay, I hate to make this a race thing, but I'm gonna make it a race thing for a hot minute. When Obama was running, you can say whatever the hell you want to say about Obama when
Hmm.
he was in office. When the man was running, okay,
Ooh,
he had your
that
attention.
he had a
He
way.
commanded your attention. He switched people. You could see people, their mind working when he was talking in his
Mm-hmm.
debates, in his press run. You could see that this man had a vision and that he was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Sleepy Joe, I'm sorry. I should stop calling you Sleepy Joe. You're the president right now.
He's a sitting
Okay?
president, as he said in his tweet.
Right now, you set everybody straight. But this is not, middle school. This is running an actual country. To me, the clincher of it all was when your wife was like, "Oh, he answered all the questions. He should be able to answer all the questions." You're patting him on the back like it's a big, like, reward. This is his job. Like, I don't understand. So, Democrats, American people, that's who we need to talk to, because honestly, I feel horrible that these are your selections. Like, these are your it doesn't matter which way you turn, you're screwed. Like, you go with Sleepy Joe, he might not make it through the next 4 years.
Mm.
You go with the felon, and oh my, he's gonna mess up that country a whole lot. Yes, people say that Trump did things while he was in office. I'm not saying that he didn't, but he also made sure that he lined the pockets of his rich white friends. He made sure of that. So, like, come on, this is your choices. Oh Lord God, Sleepy Joe.
um
It was bad. It was bad. It was
Yeah,
bad.
so he, obviously they've been doing damage control since that happened. He made a tweet saying that he's a sitting president, and he's a sitting president in the Democratic Party, and he's going to run. He reaffirmed that because following that, again, of all the panicking from the Democratic side that was happening, is everybody having the conversation is like, who can we switch him? Who can we get to lead the Democratic Party, and how
Right.
can we switch him out? And so he came back with that. And then he also sat down with, he did an interview with ABC News, and he came back saying it was when he asked about the concerns that everybody has about his performance, said it was a bad episode. No indication of any serious condition. I didn't listen to my instincts in terms of preparing, and I had a bad night. And he said he was feeling fatigued from some illness that he had even
Oh my
tested.
gosh, they always are lining up his problems
Yeah,
every time he has a debate or every time he has to
yeah,
speak.
yeah.
Listen. As an American, right? I don't care. I don't care, Joe. I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm trying to figure out how to get taxes lowered. I'm trying to figure out how to make it day to day and feed my family. And you want me to give a damn? That's not
Mm,
my problem. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so cruel about it, but when you get to a status of the president of a powerful country, every time you have a debate or you speak and you're like this, you come back with all the sob story about it. And to be quite honest, I can't do that at my job. So, like, keep it a buck with the Americans right now. They need relief. They need relief and they need a leader. And the one that's supposed to be in sitting, the sitting government right now is making a whole lot of excuses as to why he this is how you presented yourself. Really? And then you have a bagload of excuses when there's people who are starving, when there are people who are homeless, when the immigration situation is exploding in the States. Like, what are you talking about? I don't give a damn if you didn't feel fresh and up to it today. Okay? That's not my problem. That's not my
Mm.
problem. I'm sorry. I just get passionate about things like this because there seems to be a lack of understanding of where this country is at right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting mixed up and engulfed in stupid shit like Sleepy Joe right now. Okay, the country is having a real problem, a real problem, and they need real answers. And so right now, Sleepy Joe making excuses as to why you were like that, I don't want to hear it, because every time you have to speak, there's something wrong. I didn't take this, I didn't have that, I didn't take a nap, I didn't do. Brethren, I can't say that at my job. So, okay, I'm paying taxes for your ass to be up there. What you mean? Huh? No, I don't care. I don't care. Sorry. Sorry. That was my
Yeah.
passionate rant
No,
about
that's
Sleepy Joe. But it's
yeah.
true. Like, as an American, I don't give a shit how you feel right now, bro. You're the leader of the free world right now. What you mean? Huh? I'm trying to feed my family. Okay? And you want me to care that you didn't have a nap? Listen. Okay? Listen, it's too much to take. It's too much to bear. Like, I feel like there needs to be a focus, redirect and focus. It's so sad. I hope they come up with a new candidate.
Yeah, I think yeah, but he looks like he reaffirmed. I mean,
Right?
here's my thing. Again, I'm not American, so I can't say anything. But here's my thing is, listen, all these so-called leaders of countries, whether it's Trudeau or President Biden or President Obama or whoever the heck is the president or the leader of a country, there's always gatekeepers. There's always what they call them kingmakers. There's always somebody surrounding them that's, or not somebody. There's a circle of people
Mm-hmm.
surrounding them that are actually really contributing to these decisions and what's happening. It's not one person. It's never.
No, no, it's not. It's never just going to be Biden, right? Because we
Yeah,
saw what they did with all the things that Obama was trying to pass. We
yeah,
saw how much, right, is that circle around them, right? And
yeah.
I get that. I get that.
Mhm.
However, this appearance, the appearance and of this position has just gone to the wayside. Like, I
Oh yeah.
remember growing up and seeing the president of the United States representing themselves well.
Mm.
Okay, going out into the world and being able to not only speak on behalf of the country, but on a global scale. And I just don't see that with him. Or either or of them, to be
None
quite
of them. Yeah,
honest.
yeah. Trump is a mess
Like, he's a hot mess, and he's put America
in
as
a
the
very.
laughing stock of the world. Believe it
Mm.
or not, Americans, you might be off in La La Land and not know this, but a lot of countries around the world look at America like you guys are fools. A lot of leaders around the world look at America like, wow,
Trump
really? This
of
is who
all
you have
people.
leading your country? Wow, okay. All right. So now we know who we're playing with. So that prestige has just gone to the wayside. You know what I'm saying? And now not only has it gone to the wayside, but the country is struggling. They need a leader. And now you want me to understand that you didn't have a nap? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care about your nap, bro. Like, your people around you should have planned it better. I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, but I have less tolerance for people who are in such high powered positions who can control an entire country and how each citizen is affected. And you want me to care? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Mm.
And when you look at Obama, like, Obama had to run circles around these bitches in this place. Like, honestly, like, he was able to command attention and switch people's point of view, and he was able to do a lot of that. Like, I just it's up. It's just down the shits.
Okay, let's
Uh,
leave. Let's leave.
Move
This is too
on.
much.
Yes.
Yeah, this politics and American politics at that you can never win, right? So
No, but it affects us here in Canada.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
it
it
affects the
means
world.
something.
It
It
affects the
does,
world, in all
especially since
honesty.
America is very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide, their strength is still there,
Mm.
and I just think that it's being misled.
Yeah,
And now you want me to care as an American citizen? No, American people don't care if you had a nap, Sleepy Joe. They want to know: Are you going to lower taxes? Are you gonna produce more jobs? Are like how are we gonna feed our kids? There's so much bigger questions that people have to worry about right now than Sleepy Joe and his sleeping patterns. Like, I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm just passionate,
all right.
y'all. Sorry for that. I went off
So
into a tangent because I couldn't believe when I saw the oh my god.
whew.
It was a lot.
So we're gonna move on from Sleepy Joe and
Yeah.
go into Rick Ross. That's a big jump here.
Right?
We're gonna really do a big jump here for you guys. So Rick Ross, who we know was a part of the
Hmm.
all-star team of ganged up people, the all-star team of rappers versus Drake.
Right? Oh my
The
gosh.
team of 20 that wanted to go
Lord.
against Drake. So he was a part of that, and he was in Canada over the long weekend or Canada Day weekend, and there was an altercation in Vancouver. And I believe he was involved. I saw a video. He performed a concert there on Sunday,
Hmm.
and then I guess he was walking out, or he was just walking across the street, like maybe checking out the city with his
Yeah.
crew,
Yeah.
and a Miranda man approached him and punched him, and individuals were jumping. It got kind of chaotic, but I don't know. I think the man got a hit. People are he's saying he didn't get hit, but I feel like the way the man came at him, I felt a little. He got a hit. If the hit doesn't connect well, it's that hard, but it definitely connected. It may not have been a
Uh-uh.
good. It may not have been a good connect. Like if you get a good connect, you really could see a good connect. It may not have
Yeah,
been a
but he
good
got
connect,
boxed up. He
but he got a
did.
lick. He got a lick in, definitely.
Just a little
So
bit. Yeah.
I think the internet was ablaze, or was twittering and chattering about the incident, and he came on trying to play it off, and Drake being messy, like the video of the altercation, and so that started a whole convo. I was like, Drake, the minute you like that bloody post, everybody, these damn bloggers, if a celebrity comments or likes, they're going to draw attention to it, right? And
Right?
so he did
Okay.
that, and then that rapper Uncle Luke,
Yeah.
the guy from Miami, he was the freaknik guy.
Yeah,
He
he's the one that I would say started like the whole like I guess video vixen
Yeah, I would
era.
say the strip. I would say he started like the stripper video girl
Yes,
thing. I
that's
would
him.
say, like, we always have beautiful women in music videos, but he brought the
Yes.
raunch.
Yes,
He
he
brought the
brought the
raunch.
ranch. Yes, he did. But
And
Uncle Luke,
so
he's so perverted.
yeah,
Anyways,
so Uncle Luke was commenting and saying, you guys need to not be this petty and blah 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 blah. Anyway, it happened, and I was just like, you know what? It was a don't think because I mean, I was surprised because it was actually, I think it definitely was a white guy. There was definitely a white guy involved. Like, it looked like a white guy to me. So I don't know if they were
well,
just ride that hard for Drake, or if they were just drunk, but it happened.
allegedly, they
Mm-hmm.
are somehow related to Drake. Not just
Mm-hmm.
fans,
Mm.
but somehow related to Drake. So it's being said that Drake was the one that sent people down there to deal with Rick Ross because of this, back and forth that's been going on for the last few months.
Mm.
I don't know how true that is, but I'll tell you
Yeah.
one thing: a lot of people love Drake in
Yep.
Toronto. Like a
Yep.
lot of people,
And
especially I would
in
say a lot of
Canada in
white
general.
people. A lot of white
Yep.
people love Drake. They love
Mm.
him like no other up here. Okay, and I'm not saying that he's not a good artist. I think he is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I guess some of his fans were salty
Yeah.
because of the drama between the two, and might have
Mm.
just taken it out, on Rick Ross because they had the chance.
Yeah, and it is kind of audacious because they're probably thinking, "Hey," and I would think it too. I'm not even judging Rick Ross because I would think this too, and I'm Canadian. I'd have been like, "What are they gonna do?" I'm gonna go
Right,
perform. Nothing's gonna happen. I mean, if it
right,
was in the states, if it was like, say, Drake was from New York, let's say, and this is going on, Rick Ross would not find himself in New York,
right.
but
But
because it's
you never,
Canada,
never ever take up here in Canada, in Toronto. Don't take us lightly up here, okay? Like
mm,
I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of Americans think is that, oh, they're not going to do anything. Oh yeah, didn't the security guard right outside of Drake's house the other day, he got shot up? Oh, okay. Big old dirty mansion, and the security guard got shot up. So
yep,
movements can happen when you
mm-hmm,
least expect them. And I think you should never ever think that your ops are capable. Like, don't
mm,
ever think that your ops can't do it. You know what I mean? If they're your ops, then you're your ops. Like, period. So
period.
I think no, for real. Like you have beef with one of the big. I would say the biggest artists that we have that came out of
Yep.
Canada.
Point
Okay,
period point blank. Yeah, at this point, yep.
right? Internationally known, nationally known. So what would make you think that somebody wouldn't get pissed off that you came there to perform?
Yep.
They have an opportunity. Why wouldn't they
And
take
they
it?
and they damn sure took
All right.
it.
So don't
All right.
underestimate your ops. That's what I'm saying. You were sleeping, Rick. I know you got boxed up. Okay. Don't sleep on Toronto people, yo. Don't do that. Cause that's when you'll find out the sad way. But Rick
Yeah.
Ross, he
So
ain't.
yeah. So Miss Megan Thee Stallion recently released an album, and in, I guess, celebrating, or not celebrating, promoting the album,
Mm-hmm.
she's been doing a lot of press, and she was on Club Shay Shay.
Shay
Um,
Shay, you just
Shan-
you just one after the next. You're in
yeah,
the entertainment business for real now, ain't Shay Shay? It's not just sports. No, you're into entertainment. Because
entertainment.
when last you see someone sports related come on his show that's big, big, big,
Wait,
doing
wait, let me think.
numbers
Wait, let me think. His last few episodes. Yeah, no, his last few.
that made
No,
it
I'm.
big.
Oh, that made it big.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would say the last one that it made an athlete that was on his show that made. You know what? You're right. It,
Because
it's hard to actually. Yeah, I'm actually struggling.
yeah, Shay Shay has broadened. He's spread out his roots. Now he
Yeah.
has people. I'm finding more and more that are of the entertainment business that are coming on his show. I can't
Well,
remember the
yeah,
last time he had some sort of sports
yeah.
somebody
I
on the
think it was
show.
somebody I didn't know. Maybe that's why I can't remember. But
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe, and
because I don't
therefore
follow.
they didn't do well.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're like a top, like I know. Anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
So Megan was on the show, and she has a recently released her most recent album, which is called Megan. Um, and so she's been promoting it, and that's where she has the song "Hiss." Cobra's on it, and the biggest new release is I think Boa as well. They all obviously have snake themes, and I'm sure I haven't read. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but like I haven't heard her um, full explanation on the title, but it's clear that it has something to do with snakes. Okay, so while she was on the show, um, the first thing he opened with is what was interesting. That was one of the viral things, and I do want to know. Every time we've talked about a Shannon Club Shay Shay episode, whether it's Kat, whether it's whoever, we've talked it a couple
Mm-hmm.
of times who've been there. Usually those episodes are at least 2 hours because
Right.
usually podcasts run longer than average, right? So you're going to see maybe up until an hour and a half, 2 hours, and some of the big
Mhm.
ones like Cat Williams was like about just under 3 hours. So they
Mhm.
usually like his episodes usually honestly will kind of be in more in the 2 hour range. Megan was just about an hour, which
Mhm.
is something I noticed. I just noticed it right away. And I bring that up because I think it didn't get messy, and I think it was briefed. He was briefed, and the team was briefed by her Rock Nation team. Listen here, this is what we're talking about.
Right?
And we're not wavering into no mess, right? And we know what that mess is with Tory Lanez and everything. So he opened up by apologizing to her because
Yeah, I saw that. That
he
was
saw that.
nice.
Yeah, that was
Mm.
nice, and I think it's a good way to open up the interview and make it the person you're interviewing, which would be Meg in this state, to be a little bit more open and candid during the interview, right? It helps. It just makes a better interview
Break the
for it.
ice. You need to break
Break
the
it
ice.
was a good way to break the ice, I think. And so what did you think about it? Well, I'll just say what he said. I think we know the comment. He made his comment on that. He has a nightcap show with Ocho Cinco, which is hilarious. Like it's just like older men just being ridiculous, but it's actually kind of funny.
Right?
And he was just saying, "Oh, I'd love to stretch Megan out," something to the effect. I don't know the words, but something to the effect, which is very, basically appreciating her physical attractiveness or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And so he opens up saying, "For any unwanted attention, harm, shame, embarrassment that I caused you or your family, I want to say as a man that I sit here before you and I apologize." And she accepted, and they moved on to have a conversation. What did you think about that? Do you feel like it was, like we
It
just
was
said, that it's,
bogus. I'll tell you
yeah.
right now. It was bogus, okay? Shannon Sharp, like, he's on a roll,
Hmm.
right? And he wants to keep the numbers up. So
Hmm.
he's going to create some sort of stir, right? And so him
Mm.
apologizing to Meg was exactly that. A bit of something where people, can clip it up and dissect it and make the
And they
show look
did.
good and not call in, view the actual show and
Hmm.
stuff. And it worked, right? So that's why I'm saying, um, if you hadn't had her on your show, would you have apologized? Doubt it,
That's yeah.
because you
That's
said it
what.
a long time ago,
Yeah, you could have said that a long time. You could have
right?
apologized. Mm.
Yeah, you could have apologized to her long time ago. You could have said something long time ago. And I understand that now that she's in your face would be a
Mm.
good time. But if you really meant the sorry, and if it really was sincere, that you apologize, because I think it was sincere, your initial reaction
Mm.
and what you said. I think that was true. But I feel like he was just doing that because, well, we got to sit in each other's face. I'm going to interview you. Let's break the ice. Let's not have any animosity, and so we can focus on the interview and get it done. And I think it was nice that he apologized, but to be quite honest, if she wasn't on the show, I don't think she would have gotten an apology. And so therefore, I have to wonder, is it really true? Like, is it really a heartfelt apology? I don't think so. I think that was a part of the show. And
Mm.
we said this before, that Shannon has a way of making people feel real comfortable.
Yeah, he is good at that.
Yeah, and that southern hospitality comes out, and yeah, apologizing only made sense. It only made sense. And look, it gave lots of people something to talk about that he apologized, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was sincere though. And I think Meg kind of knew that too. Like,
Mm.
um everybody knows I'm not a Meg the Stallion fan. I'm
Mm.
not. I've said that many times on this show right here, and I'm not afraid to say it again. I'm
Mm.
not a fan of her. I find it very ironic that she's been focusing on snakes. You
Mm.
know, I find it strange because there's times where I feel like she's a snake.
Mm.
And it takes one to know one. So that's just my perspective. Because she likes to hit jabs and like hide her hands a bit. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And then it takes a real one to respond back to her. And when they do, she continues to hide her hands and play victim.
No, she can't. She can't hide her hand anymore.
Not anymore. But
No.
that's how she got to where we are standing with her now, right? Is
Mm.
doing exactly that. So for me, I think she knew it wasn't fake, but I think that Meg the Stallion is very well versed now, with the industry
Oh
and how
yeah.
to
If
schmooze
she didn't
and
learn that by now,
right.
then there's
I
no
think she
hope.
knew that beforehand because university kind of gives you, or college when she went to college, kind of gives you taste on how to do that. And so I think she knows that, okay, let me just let it slide. Let me get my local change from this interview right here and keep it
Mm-hmm.
pushing. Um, yeah, but Shannon, where's the sports people, Shannon?
And you have to check his channel. I literally have to go check his channel and be like, I don't, because I mean I don't know unless you're like somebody unless you're LeBron or somebody big like we, you know, you and I, we're not following sports like that, so you know, I wouldn't know. I know I've seen, but it's like to your point. When was the last? When was the last? Oh, okay. So he had Dana White, who is the head of, you know, the WWE. What do you call that? UFC fighting stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the last big one he did. That was 2 weeks ago, and that was at almost 2 million views. But yeah, he's ahead of this UFC, that whole UFC thing.
Yeah. So he's, patting his own back because if you're involved with it, he's gonna make more money from it, right? So, I mean,
Mhm.
Shannon, it's kind of obvious what you're doing.
Oh, if he's involved. Oh, I don't know, Shannon. Is he involved with that?
I
It would
think
make either way. It
so.
would make sense.
I
Either
think
way.
so. But
No,
anyhow, I
hmm,
could be wrong, so don't hold me to it. But
yeah.
Shannon, they're not going viral. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. No, let's just call it a buck. Like Shannon,
Hmm,
you're doing well because you did go over into the entertainment sector. That's
yeah.
why you're doing well. Because before that, I'm not saying that people didn't know who you were or
There
know
was
who
no
you are.
people were watching, but I think
Not
that
like this.
no, I agree with you. So people were watching because yes, he is a very credible sports personality, and so he was getting viral moments. But right, but you know, I think his biggest episode before Cat Williams was with Steve Harvey, ironically, and
Right?
that was about 8 million. So he was in the 8 million kind of range in terms of. Well, that
Mm-hmm.
no, it wasn't 8 million range. That was his top one. So I'm sure the average was maybe, you know, maybe it was 1 million, but that's after a few weeks. I can't do the
Right?
analytics. But to your point, yes, he the show just got a lot more attention after Cat Williams. That's not debatable. That's just what it is. And to your point, he's catering, and it's true. Like, cause I tune in. Listen,
Yeah.
I tune in for the entertainers. I am not going to even front right here. Listen, I respect athletes, and I know some of them have some good stories. But maybe I might see one by accident. But you
Even
know.
the damn athletes are tuning in for the entertainers. Like, let's just be real about it. It's put his whole podcast on the map where people are checking in. And his numbers for all the entertainers thereafter Cat Williams, because I think Cat was the beginning of the
Mhm,
he
mhm,
was the beginning of the of this stardom, to
mhm.
really be honest. But after that, there hasn't been one entertainer that was interviewed that within a week's time didn't go over a mil of
That's true.
views.
I'm looking at it right now. You're right. You are absolutely right.
Right? Okay. So, Mr. Steve Harvey, that was over the course of weeks or months. And to be
Probably.
quite honest, shortly after Steve Harvey went, what's his name? Cat Williams went. And so Cat was able to, it was almost like he gave Steve Harvey's video promo, if you ask me, because
Oh yeah.
now people are going back to what Steve Harvey,
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
right? Because he mentioned Steve. Listen, Cat Williams, Brethren, I watched your interview with Shannon Sharp about 3, 4, 500 times. You hear me? It's funny as shit. Like it's the best movie out right now. You hear me? Okay. For real, for real. No, but for real, in the beginning of when he sits down with Shannon, Cat Williams, that is, he says, I'm responding to the nonsense that you let go on here in Steve Harvey's interview. So Steve Harvey went from maybe 500,000 that watched his thing, or even a million after a few weeks, to now 8 million because people were attracted to, okay, well, what did Steve Harvey say? Why Cat Williams is going off on the show? So now you get free promo. So now people are going back to that. And now you have 8 million. But to be quite honest, if Cat Williams, if he didn't go on there, you wouldn't have had the 8 million. It would have taken you a long time to get that 8 million, to be honest, because like we said, this show was catered to the sports sector. So people who are into the sports are going to be tuning into to but then he stepped out of that realm. You went into entertainment. Cat Williams set it off, and ever since he set it off, everybody in entertainment that he interviews thereafter, within the first week, it's a million.
Yeah, it's true. I can confirm.
So Shannon knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He has the right tactics, and now he's going through the whole entertainment registrar right now. Okay, he had Quavo on there. He had Meg Thee Stallion. He had Gorilla the other day, which
Yeah,
I feel Gorilla
that
is
was a
a really pretty soul. She seems
yeah.
like a
It
really
was a
pretty
cute, did you
soul.
watch it? It was a cute interview. I
It was
enjoyed
a
it.
cute interview, and it was like because they're both Southerners. It
Yeah,
was
that's
like
mhm,
brother and sister kind of situation. It was really
mhm.
nice to see. But look, you know, Cat set it off.
Yep.
He set it off,
And it's been going off.
right? Okay,
So yeah, so I think yeah, it was a very like business. I would say down to business interview, focused on her career, what she wants to do, and none of the messiness. And I think in her case, after the year she's had, I'm glad they. I think that was a good idea to keep it that way.
right.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then now we can move into our music news,
Yes,
and
a
we're
whole
gonna
lot in the music news
a lot
here.
to talk about in the music news. So first, before we get into the BT Awards, because that's our big thing for the music news,
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick, going back to Drake.
Lord
Sorry,
of
like I
his.
don't even want to talk about this, guys. I really don't, but I have to because I'm hoping this is the bow or this is the last nail in the beef coffin between Kendrick and Drake. So this week he released a "Not Like Us" video. I just was randomly was just I opened my YouTube and I said, "What? This picture looks interesting." And I looked down 33 minutes and I look across Kendrick Lamar. What?
What?
Not Like
Okay.
Us video. So I'm like, after almost a month and a half of it already being fired, interesting.
Right?
So I watched it, and Kendrick always has really good videos, to be honest. But
Right?
what so it's very LA based, very fun. He has a community. He's dancing. He likes to dance. He has a lot of celebrity cameos, and the real thing that stood out was the caged owl. There's the owl pinata. He's wearing these
My
shiny silver
gosh.
pants, and he's beating down the owl pinata, and I'm like, okay, not, a little bit on the nose, but all right.
Right?
And then the caged owl scene at the end where it closes out, and a lot of people are making a reference to the song or poem by Maya Angelou, "I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings."
Wow.
And so, but anyway, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, the song for me is played out now at this point. I'm sorry. It was just, I've just been played so much around me. I'm like, it's a good song. But you just know when a song's been played a lot and it loses it just loses that, oomph that you get when you
Yeah,
put
the
on a song. You're like,
pizzazz. Yeah.
yeah, it's just not shiny and new anymore. That's all
No,
I'm
it's
saying.
not. And it's like so being thrown down our throats. You know what? I think Kendrick as a artist, his thought process, like I don't even think we can understand it. Like this man is so detailed. He's so methodical with how he does things and how he plans things. And like this video, I expect no less from him. His vision is he's a visionary. He really is. Like I feel like he is able to depict a lot in a video that is very artistic. But Kendrick, I need you to get off of his neck. Like I need you to come off of Drake's neck. Okay? I had to call up Jeanette. I said, Jeanette, why is it there's the owl in the cage? Why are we doing all of this? Kendrick. Kendrick is saying to Drake, I put your ass back in the cage, yes? it's sad because I think, Drake, you'll never live this down. Period. You'll never live this down, and Kendrick is making sure that you never try. Because this video was like the clincher. You know what I mean? Like, this song came out between you and him, you're going back and forth with each other or whatever, and it came out and it was like, this is a deep track. Like, there's no way that Drake can even address all of what Kendrick said. He just couldn't. And if he did, I think it would be, it wouldn't be good for his career if he tried to address Kendrick after this.
At this point, no, there's no point. Just be
There's
quiet.
just hush up, right? And so
No,
yes, hush
seriously.
his ass up right now. And justfully so. I mean, Drake, he likes to, poke at people too. Like, he's not innocent in this. He just got bodied in this. And unfortunately, this video, like, everybody came together like Voltron for this damn video, because I'll say one thing about American people. Yeah, you represent. Wherever you're from, you represent. And I feel like it's a commonality with the people of, of LA, and the ride. And they've been doing all sorts of crip walks all over Drake and everything. And,
Mhm.
we saw it throughout the video. But the clincher for me was, okay, not only did he use the owl as a pinata, right? But if you think about how many novels over the decades that have reference to birds in cages, right? And to just think about what Kendrick was actually saying. Like, I've put your ass back in a cage. Know your place. Know your place. I'm the master and you aren't. Okay?
Mm.
When I saw at the end of the video, Kendrick had the owl in the cage, and he looked at him like, if you ever try to get out this cage again, okay, we gonna have some chicken wings. Because like, he looked like he was gonna bust up that owl's ass. Okay,
Oh
like,
boy.
he looked at him like, don't you ever get out of place again, right? And it was very significant. We're done now. Okay, Kendrick, like, we get it.
That's
we
all I'm gonna say. I'm just saying
yeah,
that
we get it.
I think we already conceded that you won the beef, the overall beef journey. Kendrick, good effort from everybody, but Kendrick won, and I still think Drake is gonna be fine. I'm sorry, but he really is. That's my opinion. Maybe unpopular opinion. I think Drake's good either way. Um, yeah. So we can move
Well,
on
it
and
brought Drake attention either way. I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think Drake is not gonna have a sold out show anymore. Like that's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's funny because yeah, he really took a beating. Not gonna lie, I have to admit it. But he's fine. Like ain't nobody not gonna this stream the next Drake album. Like let's be real.
but my question is, when is the beating gonna stop? Because
That's
at
it.
this
That's it.
point,
That's all I'm saying. That's it.
like, okay, we get it.
We get it. Okay, you won,
You're the
buddy.
king. Okay,
Okay, when we still waiting for that new Drake. Okay.
right?
Right. So yeah. So anyway, we saw the video. Pretty
It
cool.
was a good video though, and the
Yeah.
concept was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
concept was awesome. Like, I really listened to the words of Not Like Us,
Mhm.
and a lot of the words are like, this man is dangerous.
He went in. He went in, man.
He's dangerous. I'm sorry, Drake. This man's dangerous right here. Caution, back away gently. Okay, like, hands up and back away, okay? And go off into your own little lane and do your little something over here. But I think, Drake, what you should take away from this is focus more on the ladies and less on the dissing everybody else. I think that's what you should do, because I think that's where you got a lot of your success. And then you tried to turn into this hardcore rapper, somebody or another, and it didn't quite work. You know what I mean? And you're, the Canadian lover boy. Just do that. Just do that, because you don't want to get bodied again. I don't think your career can handle it. To be honest, I don't. So
Yeah.
yeah. But
So
BET,
BET Awards. So the BET Awards came on this week, and there was a lot. There's always a lot of excitement and talk during these awards. So first, we're gonna start with let's start with the outfits. Then
mm-hmm.
we'll have call out any performances that we want to call out. And you know what?
What are
Before we
your
even
top three best and top three not so nice?
ooh, do you want to start? Do you already have yours?
No, but
No.
no.
There's
Well, um, okay. So who was
a
the?
lot. There's just so much not
There
so
was
nice.
Coco. What's her name now? Coco.
Coco Jones.
Coco Jones. I
Yeah.
think she looked really pretty.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Chloe Bailey. Her dress was actually, sorry, I said top three. So she's not quite in the top three for me.
Mm,
But I will say an honorable mention for me would be Black China. You actually
okay.
looked very, very nice. I thought you looked very whimsical. You looked different
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
than how you portrayed yourself before. You could see how her fitness is really, you know, doing well for her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I thought Coco, she was right up there for me. I thought she looked
Yeah. You,
fabulous.
I want to stop you right there. You made a comment when we were talking about this that I think it would probably give a good lens of how you're rating the outfits, because you did say you felt like some people didn't dress up like it was a red
Yes,
carpet.
let me mention that quick. Yeah, so when we look at the Oscars and we look at the Tonys and we look at all of these white celebrity based award shows, we see them decked out. We see them coming out, stepping out, and the best of dresses, the high fashion
You
to,
mean
to the
everybody, no
nine.
matter who,
Well,
everybody's dressed
everybody
like.
that goes, and to be
Mhm.
honest, I think it's known that if you're not white, that this is how you should be when you go. So
I don't think I don't. Oh, okay, go ahead.
well, I think personally that the Oscars has set such a prestige.
I think the Oscars. I think we could. The comparable event for this is the Grammys in
Okay,
terms of.
the Grammys,
Mhm.
even the Grammys, it is a prestigious award show, and
Yes.
so I think it's had that reputation for so long. And when anybody, black, white, or anybody, they go to these award shows, they present themselves the best possible that they can. But when I see the BET Awards, which, like you said, is I guess the best comparison, you don't see that. You see people rolling out like they're going, they just came from the cookout. An example of this would be Ti. Ti literally looked like he just came from the cookout. Okay, like I was like, really? So why is it that we don't have that prestige for BET Awards? Why don't we dress in gowns? I just don't get it. I don't know if it's supposed to be
You're not
like
saying it
that.
wasn't everybody, but you're just saying generally it
Well,
wasn't
the
as.
majority of the people that were there, the majority
Mhm.
of the people that were there, I think that the ladies, most of the ladies, they dressed in nice
Yeah.
dresses and stuff
Yes.
like
Yeah.
that. But they weren't gowns. They weren't black tie affair type of gear. They just not. Um, and I think that's an issue for me. For me.
Mhm.
So anyway, Coco Jones, she looked really nice. I thought that Black China was a mentionable. She was mentionable in that she looks nice. She took out all those fillers and all those things out of her body, and she toned up, and she looks good. Um, who else? Tyla. Tyla's outfit was cute.
Mhm.
She seems to be a very cute little, cute little somebody. Um, the girl, what's her name? I have to look her up. But there was two other people I was impressed with. Um,
Like sick performers.
no, with their attire because we were um,
Mhm.
what they're wearing. Um, Chloe Bailey, I thought her dress was really nice.
Mhm.
I thought she looked really pretty. And even though she what's her name now? Uh Megan Good looked nice. She looked cute.
She looks very skinny.
Yeah, like anorexic-ish.
Yeah, it's looking
But
very unhealthy.
yeah, yeah, I thought so too. But you know what? It just and Ice Spice looked nice in
Oh,
her little
she
gown.
surprised me. I liked her hair. I liked the Ice Spice. You're right. She did look
Yeah,
cute.
she
It's
looked
big improvement. Big improvement.
right. She looked
Mhm,
nice. She looked nice.
mhm.
So those were some of the ones that I liked the most.
Okay.
In terms of dress and how they looked. Tiana Taylor, she her body like I just. Her body's like a work of art. Like I just can't with her. Like she's just phenomenal woman. Um,
Mm.
some of the choices that I know she's trying to be edgy. She's still kind of young, and so I get it. But for the most part, I just felt like, hmm, again, like why can't we dress up? Why aren't we going black tie affair? Like these are clothes that I don't know. How? What did you think? What were some outfits that you liked?
Um, I was just going through a list here, and I was saying that we've talked about the likes. I think you mentioned the standouts. I think
Hmm.
in terms of dresses. Oh, um, Young Miami. She was wearing
Yeah.
it. She was. I mean, her what do you call it? BBL is out of control, but she actually was wearing. She's simple. You can't go wrong with what she's wearing. To be honest,
Right.
all black.
Yeah.
What's her name? Summer Walker look cute. She look like I don't know the brand, but it's like looks like a classic like French Chanel type of look. Her
Hmm.
BBL, her BBL is also out of control.
Yeah.
Like damn girls,
Right.
stop this BBL mess. Jesus, Tamar looked good.
Hmm.
She's her Ozempic has been Ozempicing.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. That's right. That's right.
she was never really big, but you could tell when their head starts looking kind of like big that
For their body. Yeah, I know.
it's just,
Like a
the way
bobblehead. Hmm.
yeah, the bubblehead look is like they need to be careful with the they can stop now. You can stop now because your head's looking extra big. Um Ooh, I just saw this Flaw J Johnson, you know that basketball girl? I just saw her. She
Hmm.
actually has a real I'm surprised. Wow, her dress is gorgeous. I would say she has the best dress now that I just saw Flaw J Johnson.
Hmm.
Because Coco is something with Coco is that yes, Coco, you're slim and trim, but I don't know why these dresses don't look like they fit you. Like
I
they're
think
not
it's her height. I think she's tall.
mm,
Because
yeah.
sometimes it doesn't proportion well on the body when you're
Yes, that's what I'm
tall.
saying. The fit is always it's like it's a nice dress, it's a good choice, but the fit is like always seems off, even
Right.
though it's like
Hmm.
technically it's a beautiful dress. Anyway, let's talk about the messes. So we talked about there's a lot of messes because people just want to
Akon. Akon. Listen.
of all the messes, I didn't even think
Oh.
of Akon.
What kind of shoes? Where is the listen? Where is the shoe fashion going nowadays? Like
It's
I
the
don't
red. It's what's the significance of the red and white? Is it Canada? Is he from Canada? Like,
I,
why is he
I don't
like
even know because last
that? Is a
time I checked,
weird
he's from
color combo.
Africa. So I don't know. I don't know. Saucy Santana.
Mm, saucy.
I didn't like it at all. He didn't look very nice.
Mm. Um,
Mm,
I saw that there's a photo that I just saw of another man where it's like, what are you wearing? Not Ti.
right? Because you know how I feel
Oh,
about T.I.'s
Jermaine
clothes.
Dupri with those socks again.
Right? I think Jermaine Dupri is trying to be like hip and he's not hitting it. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to be
I mean,
modern and
maybe he
hip
just
and
wanted to create
fashionable.
maybe he wanted to create another viral moment because so many people were talking about it at the BET
Oh,
Awards. But yeah, no. We good. Scarlett, you know Scarlett, that rapper from New York,
yeah,
she looked a
yeah,
mess. Ooh,
yeah. She didn't make
girl,
it.
your team. No, we're going in on Serena Williams' team. Scarlett, your team, your hair team, and your stylist team. Fire them, girl. Fire them.
Right?
They don't like you. They don't like you.
No. Mm-mm. You know, Remy Ma. What the hell is she
Yes,
wearing?
I wanted to bring that up. Remy Ma is the one I wanted to bring up. Remy, girl. First of all, the clip, okay, before like I actually saw the photo, I saw a video. When the event's happening,
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot on the in social media as the event's rolling out, you see the red carpet looks. So there's a clip of her walking up to the red carpet or walking off, and on top of the barely covered and half naked look, um her walk, it was not a very ladylike walk. I
Oh
was like,
God. And look at
girl,
what you're in. Like, look what
what
you're
are you doing?
wearing.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't
Look
know.
like a huge doily.
Maybe her
Sorry.
foot was hot in her already from wearing the heels. But when your walk is so bad because your feet are on fire. Maybe that was that. But it just, I was like, girl, like, ooh, yeah. It's not. Here's the thing. Remy Ma, you are not a 20-year-old, and I'm not Asian. I'm not,
No.
and I'm not shaming her. Listen,
No. Yeah, I agree with
I'm
you.
not
Go on.
shaming for the
Mm.
age, right? But I'm just saying that if you, as a like, we think as a woman, even though you're beautiful, your body's snatched. We know you're snatched, so we don't need to literally see your snatch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't need, like, this is it's a piece of art. But I just don't think this was a place to wear it, because like, are you gonna sit? Are you gonna? Hopefully she changed. Hopefully that was just
Right?
the red carpet look, and she changed into a different outfit, because I hope she did not sit on no seat with her bare behind like that.
Right? I feel I've been feeling for the last year or so that I think Remy Ma is having like a midlife crisis or something. Like I really do, because she's stepping so far out of character. Not to say that we know every part of her, right?
Mhm.
We don't. However, first you're cheating on papoose, then your son is a hit for hire type of man. Then you're coming on the BET Awards dressed in next to nothing. Like, what is going on, Remy? For real, for real. Can you put out some music? Because I need something else to focus on. Because even though this was diamonds and whatever, it looked like
I just don't think it was a red carpet look. I think
no.
if she was doing a performance, I would not have anything to say if she was performing in that, or if she was doing a music video or something. I would not have anything to say of her wearing that. But I just feel like, to your point, in terms of red carpet, like, there's a certain level to bring to
Yeah,
the
and that
a
wasn't
red
it.
carpet.
That wasn't
Um,
it.
I just, it's a bit much. It's just, I don't know what it is, but it's a bit much. So yeah, Remy, and then that. Oh, so speaking of Remy, last one that was kind of like in the what's going on here is, did you see the photo of Lil Mo in that purple?
Yeah, I
Lil Mo.
oh Lord, little Mo. My God. Don't listen, I really don't understand what's happening with shoe fashion nowadays. Because a lot of people are these huge, clunky, just just battle combat type boot style thing. And it's not always fitting. Like it's not always appropriate. Like again, look at this woman. She's coming to the BET Awards. Do you think she could go to the Grammys like that
She
and wouldn't
wouldn't.
be the laughing stock of the Grammys? Like, come on, why are we giving her a blight at the BET Awards? I feel like the BET Awards needs to step up their game and make it mandatory and prestigious, just like the Grammys. You know, I that like look. Did you see?
Yeah, I did. I was like, whoa, Lil Mo, what is the theme here? What are we trying to say? I don't get it. But I also think that in their defense, I think they do have been trying to brand it. They do want it to stand out as a unique event and a unique award event. And so I do feel like one of those things is the fashion. So, and like you said, every award, there's certain expectations. Like, you have an expectation for the Oscars. I know what, even the MTV. I have an expectation for the MTV Awards, which I feel like the BET Awards is more fashion to that style than, say, a Grammys or anything. But Yeah, so it's interesting. But what I do appreciate is that it's always going to give me something to talk about,
Right?
which is where we could go into the performances now. And so I would say the big thing that came out of the awards after the performances, I would say here are the highlights as I saw it based on the social media fodder. That is let's start first off the Usher tribute,
Mm.
which only featured a one male performer, and nobody was really talking about it until I actually went and looked at the performance myself, or most of the performance myself. Is that Childish Gambino opens it up, and then they're all female performers who were giving a tribute to him. And I'll just get my one joke off. Marsha Ambrosius. Marsha Ambrosius. What the hell was that note?
Right?
What was that note? What was that note? She did the song where it's being famous because he was when he went and did his Tiny Desk concert on NPR. He opened it up, and it's a note. I mean, I'm allowed to mess it up because I'm not a professional singer, but he opens it up and he's like, da, 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 da. And that note was all over the place. I was like, girl,
Mm-mm.
but some certain voice types, like she's good with her music. She don't need to be singing nobody else's music because she butchered that. That's a beautiful opening, and she butchered that to hell.
Right?
And there was a lot of controversy, and I guess that's what I'll pause here and get your opinion. That the fact that there was really it was more of a female centric lineup for his tribute, and some people were like, "Wait, why couldn't we add any of the male R&B singers to participate?"
Right?
So I don't know the behind or the drama. If there was drama, I don't know the behind if they wanted to do this woman centric thing.
Okay.
But
I have something to
I
say about that.
I personally think it would have been they didn't need to force that because to me it's like if you had to listen. Okay, you know who made Kiki made sense. We know why. We know why Kiki made sense.
Well, they're close friends, the two of them, and
They're friends, and then the whole drama with the
which
baby daddy.
exactly, right?
So it was,
Exactly.
it was fun. Kiki made sense. I can give them Kiki. I can give them Summer Walker because they have a song together, and I'll give them what's her name, Teyana. I'll give them Teyana because again they're friends as well. Everybody else, even the ones who sang good, now you could have replaced them all
But I
with
think we need to look at this on a broader scale. As why is it only one man? This is a
yeah.
man that you're
Mhm,
honoring, right?
mhm,
I would say an R&B legend.
mhm,
Okay, and there are still R&B singers out there that are
mhm,
men, like Mario, who could have done justice to Usher and his legacy. I'm sorry, but I feel as though there needed to be more of a man presence. I don't know. That could have been an underlying dig that you have all these females singing for Usher. I know he
mhm,
likes to sing to females. Who knows?
mhm.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
I'm sure they had a rationale for it. It was clear. It was
Probably, but
obvious.
they
There was
didn't have the
obvious.
rationale right with the. There are still male R&B singers out there, like I mentioned one, Mario,
Hmm.
who I think could have really done justice to his music.
Hmm.
What is his name? Gambino. Sorry, I never knew he was a singer like that. Like I didn't know he was a singer like that where he's involved with tributes. Do you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I'm not saying that I didn't know that he sang. I know that he sang, but
Yeah.
I didn't think, he was an R&B artist.
Oh yeah, but he did a good job. Don't get
He
me
did
wrong. But
he
I'm
did
just
it.
saying.
He did a good job, yeah. But I think there could have been other people who would have done just as well, could have done better,
Hmm.
to be honest. But hey, if that's what they wanted to, what I didn't like was Usher. and when he was on the carpet. See what I'm talking about, people? The man was in a jeans and a white jacket. Okay, he
Mm-hmm.
looked like the uncle at the cookout again with the cookout wear. Like I'm sorry. This is a tribute to you. This is a night about your legacy. Like, come on, Usher. I expected better. I don't know. That's just me. But the performance was all right. You know, some people I think they should have rethought. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know. But the performance
Um.
that I want to talk about is Lauren Hill.
Okay. Before we get to Lauren, because she was the last one, and we'll talk about
Mm-hmm.
why. Will Smith performed a gospel
Yeah.
song with Friday.
Yeah.
I saw a little
I
bit. I didn't see the
switched it.
full.
Excuse
I
me.
didn't see the
Sorry.
full thing. I'm just
Yeah, I
happy for
switched it.
Will. The song seems interesting. But yeah, I just you what's his Meg opened. I'm over seeing Meg shake her ass on TV. I'ma say it. I support Meg, and
Excuse
I
me.
want her
Yeah.
I want her to do well. But girl,
Come
switch it up,
on.
girl, a
That's
little
what
bit.
I was
Just
saying a long time ago, and it's like I think that Meg Thee Stallion is a smart girl, and I think that she could really be a great rapper. Right? I'm not saying that she's not good at what she does now,
mhm,
but she seems more and more every time she comes out with something, it feels like she's a one trick pony.
mhm.
Ha pun on words.
Uh,
Pony.
oh, get up on that one foot. Oh Lord God. Yeah. So.
That says, Lord God. No, but she really it seems like a one trick pony, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, we know you can shake your ass. Like, okay, great. We know that you could, twerk and that we know you could be
We know, but
raunchy and
let's
ratchet.
and and it's fine to give that, but to me it's a little. You can rein it in a little. That's all I'm saying.
Or
That's
balance. Or like,
yeah, yeah.
give me something else as well, you know?
That's all I'm saying. Do your thing, and sure, there's people that love you for that. Just, I think you can rein it in a little bit. So yeah, Megan, and then before we get to Gorilla, no, not Gorilla. Yeah, Gorilla did a good job. No, I was going to Sexy Red now. Sexy Red. Listen, we all think Sexy Red is a scourge of the music industry right now. I'm not going to pretend like I don't think that as well, but what I will give her is she has improved her performance presence very much so, as
Mhm.
well as what's her name? Ice Spice. It's still a lot to be desired with Ice Spice, but she is also. I'm thinking about last year. I'm comparing last year to this year,
Mhm.
and those two girls, including Gorilla, all performed. And last year, I was like, whoa, they need to be polished, and they upped their game. All three of them. All
Mhm.
three of them up their game, and I'll just say, I don't need to love their music
Mhm.
to acknowledge that they have at least improved
Mhm.
their delivery of their content or whatever. Okay, I think that is it. That in terms of the main things that I want to talk about. So now let's
Mhm.
go to Miss Lauren Hill,
Mhm.
Miss Hill, if you want now, because
Mhm.
I think that's what she goes by. I was happy to see her. Some people are frustrated. There's always the same argument. Like, listen, we were just talking about this when she got the best album of the 100 albums or whatever they said, top
Mhm.
100 albums from Apple Music,
Mhm.
and there was a lot of controversy. I think a
Mhm.
lot of people are frustrated with Lauren Hill, but I said I stand on my Lauren Hill,
Mhm. Mhm.
literally and figuratively,
That's right.
in that
Mhm.
I know that legally she cannot perform the songs how we know them and love them.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the people she made the album with were very pissed with her. There was a lawsuit, and she can't perform them how we know and
Yeah,
love
and
them.
with the other guy, what's his name? Pet.
Her son?
There's Wyclef, and then
Oh,
there's
Praz, yeah. So
Proz.
Praz, yeah, Praz wasn't there.
No, because he's mixed up with the treason. Remember?
Yeah, remember we talked about the
Yeah. So
treason.
let's not talk about. Let's leave his part out of the show. Him and his treason self. Okay. Shit. Boy, let me tell you.
So but I was happy to see her. She looks beautiful as always. She's
Mhm.
always has a unique outfit. You may not love it for yourself, but I think I like that there's always something interesting. I think I like that. I like that she's out there with her outfits. To be
Me
honest, it's kind of
too.
like Erica Badu. It's like, nobody can't say nobody's dressing like Lauren Hill. Let's put it that way.
Right?
And but her makeup looked good, her hair looked good, and she had a lot of energy, and it looked like she was happy to be there, and it was so beautiful to
Mm-hmm.
see her beaming on her son performing his song. The energy in the crowd was good. It was a really I loved it, actually.
I
I really
loved
loved
it. And like when Lauren Hill can make it to the concert on time, she does a
it.
good job. And like she's very artistic and just like I could imagine putting that all together and I just felt like it was really well done. And we all know that she's a really great artist. We know that. We just need to see it.
Mhm.
Because you hear a lot of other crap about her.
Mhm.
And sometimes it'll take you off of the fact that she's such a great performer. It
Mhm.
was really wholesome to see her with her son.
Yes.
And I say that specifically because when Lauren Hill in the beginning of her career and she got pregnant with Zion,
Mhm.
um everybody was telling her this is the worst thing, you shouldn't start a family now, your career's just starting to take off. And to see how many decades later she's performing with one of her sons.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so, despite all that everybody said back then that she's ruining her career and what this is career suicide and really, well, she's had lots of longevity
Yep.
off of one record,
Album.
one
One album.
album. Okay?
Mhm.
So, you could tell that she put her everything into that album and we're still hearing it to this day. And to see it come full circle when people were saying she was career suicide, that now she's a family woman and her son is performing right beside her.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is, it sure is. And so, and yeah, you know what, I always expect Lauren Hill to be out there with her fashion. She was
Mhm.
back in the day and she still is. And would I have wanted to see her in something different? Maybe.
Mm.
But it wouldn't be Lauren if it wasn't done like this. Right? And I can appreciate that. I can
um.
appreciate her staying true to herself because throughout her entire career, that's what she said to all of us. I must stay true to myself, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
So
So
she
the,
sure did.
the Fugees in this case was just her and Wyclef when they came
Mm-hmm.
out for the two Fuji
The
songs, but I'm
treason. Mm-hmm.
but it was still nice to see that. So yeah, that was the performances that I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to talk about, and like we said, she came on last. She was the last performance, so
Yes, they made
there was
sure
no
because you
way
don't
she
know
could
what
be
we
late.
are. You don't know.
So before we wrap up, so just to end our BET recap, they gave out about 8 awards, and I was just going to, I can, it's just 8 awards, so I can say. So best album of the year, controversial for some reason, I don't know why,
Mm-hmm.
was Killer Mike Michael. And the controversy is some people saying that, he won the best rap album at the Grammys, and then he won this best album of the year at the BET Awards, and people are like, I don't know 5 songs from that album, or I don't go in my car, I didn't go in my
Mm-hmm.
car and put on that album.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I listened to this album, and I actually do think it's deserving of a
Nomination?
quality award. Yeah, a
Mm-hmm.
nomination.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never can say who's win, but it's definitely worthy of the nomination.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree that it's not an album that you would just put in and constantly listen to, in that
Mm-hmm.
it's really deep. Like for me
Mm-hmm.
personally, if an album is too deep, like even Kendrick's last album, it was too deep for me. It was too real. So I'm listening
Mm-hmm.
because I want to take in the message and I want to take it in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something that I'm constantly playing because
No, you're not
it's a
gonna play
lot.
it on a regular. No, it's not. A,
So
it's
that
not. It's not a bop your head type of.
no, it's a lot. It's like you're gonna have to trigger warning. Like you're gonna have to be,
Mm-hmm.
you might be thinking of some stuff. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So,
But
but
what is nice is that a black man has put his pain into words.
oh, it's beautiful. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm hearing these comments, and I'm like, if you listen to the album, I think it's to me personally, if somebody were to listen to it, you would understand why it won rap album of the year and
Yeah,
why.
he put out there all of his trauma.
Pretty much. And so yeah, but there are some other albums on here that I would be like, I like 21 Savage American Dream was actually, I was listening to that a lot. Surprisingly, I typically his earlier stuff I'm not a fan of, but American
Mhm.
Dream, I was bumping that a lot. 21
Mhm.
Savage,
Mhm.
um, Victoria Monet, Jaguar 2, very
Mhm.
good. Nicki
Mhm.
Minaj, Pink Friday 2. But
Mhm.
Nicki they snub Nicki. I don't even know why they nominate Nicki. They ain't planning on giving Nicki shit.
Yeah, that's
so
why Nikki said I ain't going there neither. I don't give a shit
but I'm
about your
glad it
stupid
should.
award show.
But I agree that it should be nominated, and the other three I'm not going to mention because I don't think
I
they're
feel like
worthy.
sometimes the BET Awards does that to just get publicity.
Which is good because before they used to only have like 3 or 4 nominations. I'm like, what is this? So
Mhm.
I'm actually, because remember we were talking, I was complaining. I was surprised to see, okay, now they actually have a good set of nominees. Where I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
this is actually competitive. Okay, best female R&B and pop, SZA. I think that is very
Okay,
much.
I could get down with that.
I can get down with that, and I would say the two runner ups on this list that I think could go with SZA is Doja Cat and
Yeah, let's just give it to SZA.
yeah, let's give it to SZA. Let's give it to
Yeah, I
SZA.
think
But
she did. She's been doing like
no, she had a big, huge. Her last album was huge, and it was very much
phenomenal
pop and
work.
R&B.
She's been doing a lot of good work.
Best male was Usher. That's controversial for me. But best male R&B pop, that's controversial for the topic. Best
Like Chris
group.
Brown could have. Oh, I know. Oh, Chris Brown and oh no, sorry, I take that back.
Yeah, he's on the list,
Yeah, but him and Usher
but
fell out the other day.
they
So
fell out, and Usher is Usher was being honored, so I guess it makes sense. Man, that's why. But I feel like there are a couple on here that could have seriously be considered.
yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
best group Ty Dollar Sign and Kanye for their last album.
Mhm.
Best collaboration, I don't know this one. Lil Durk. Oh, Lil Durk featuring J Cole. All My Life. Oh, I do know that song. Okay, sure, why not?
Mhm. That was
Best
a good
female.
song, though. That was a good hit.
Best female hip hop artist. Oh, they did give it to Nicki. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
okay.
You're trying to make peace with her. Okay. Okay.
And best
Yeah,
male hip
because
hop.
they usually snub her, man. They usually treat her
Yeah, but
foul,
with Pink
yo.
Friday was so successful. Like it's like really like who else? Like come
No, they
on,
had to because if they didn't, then all of what Nikki has been trying to say about the BET Awards would be right.
you'd be right. Because even if they wanted to give it the only second person who I think is worthy of it would have been Doja Cat. And even if they gave it to her, it's like okay, you just gave it to her despite Nicki. Um,
Right? Mm-hmm.
so best me male Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, it goes without saying.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he cemented that.
Best new artist went to Tyla, controversial one as well. Video of the year went to Victoria Monet on My Mama. She deserved that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, yeah, she deserved that. And video director. Oh, I don't care about director. Okay, so those are the main ones.
Mm-hmm.
So and the last one because it's another Tyla for best international act. Tyla's been racking it up,
Right?
but we're gonna have to have another conversation about Tyla. This is not the time, but we need to have a conversation about Tyla.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. She might just be a plant, people. But anyway, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
So,
I've been
but
watching
yeah,
her.
that's it.
I've been
hmm
watching her though.
That interview, yeah, that I was fine with her until that Breakfast Club interview. Let me tell
Right?
you. So,
Yes. Yes, I was too. But I've been watching her since and I've been like, be side eyeing her. But you know what? We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on at this point. It's
mhm.
been great talking about the BET Awards. I think it should be more prestigious. I think more Black people would want to come if it were. Um, and I think the BET Awards shouldn't be so damn messy sometimes. And they are very much so, and they get the publicity that they need. But you know what? We're going to move on so that we can go into the workout.
Workout.
Yes, this is our first, I guess, segment of the show, which is the workout. And this is where, we do exercise the heart and our mental fitness, doing deep dive discussions that are affecting us, our culture, our community. And so I don't know, listeners, if you remember, but we had a series going on, and we wanted to bring it back to that series with this new topic: nepotism while black. Yes, we're bringing it back to the wild black people. Yes, we are. We did
Mhm.
traveling while black, working while black, and so this is our segment: nepotism while black. So, okay, recently I know everybody knows LeBron's son, Bronny, is a basketball player. Okay? He's a basketball player. He's following in his dad's footsteps. Unfortunately, he's not there yet. He's not quite filling his dad's shoes because they did the draft pick the other day and Bronny came in 55th choice.
Mhm.
This is LeBron's son. Okay. Now, 55, you're not in the top 20.
Mm.
You're not in the top 50, bro. So
Like,
you,
that's
you
true.
know
You're not even in the top 50.
you're not even in the top 50, bro. Right? So a lot of people are having a lot of things to say about LeBron's son, and where he's decided to play basketball, and a lot of people are up in arms because the 55th position last year did not receive the same amount of money
Mhm.
as Bronny is going to receive in the 55th position. And they're pointing out the nepotism and, oh, it's because his dad and this and that and the third. Right? And so we all know what nepotism is. We understand, we see it all the time. It's being used throughout different communities, different cultures. And I just don't understand why everybody's up in arms about Bronny. I don't understand. What do you think LeBron worked so damn hard for? He didn't work
Mm.
hard. He didn't work this hard to watch his son get nothing, even as the 55th pick. So there is something that I wanted to talk about here, and that is, why is more attention given when nepotism is used in the white community among celebrities? Why is it that everybody is in up in arms about Bronny and black people, LeBron, pulling some strings for his son? What's the problem?
What's the problem?
I don't understand what the problem is, but everybody is up in arms. There are other people as well that we could mention, and we will as we discuss this. And so, you know, uh now, Bronny, you are so cute. You are the cutest little thing ever, let me tell you. But I need to ask myself, are you really in this because you want to be in this? Or are you seeing a way that could be quite easy for you through nepotism, right? And I think Bronny, he likes basketball. To work this hard to even get to this
Yeah,
point,
I guess I like
he
it for
had to
something.
like some of it, right? Um, but I have to ask myself this: are you following in your dad's footsteps because it would be easier, or are you doing this because you really want to? Well, at this point, Bronny, I don't really give a damn. Okay? I don't care if you actually like basketball anymore. I thought about it for a minute, but I really don't care because
Yeah, who cares?
nepotism is going to be used here.
Yeah, it already worked. It's already in.
It's in play.
It already played out.
Okay. And to see that Bronny is benefiting from that, um, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad when I see black people using nepotism. Why? Because it takes us a lot harder to get into positions where we can use nepotism, right? And so I also think that answers my question as to why it's such a big deal is because you don't see black people using nepotism enough.
Enough is the key word.
We just don't. We just don't. And so when the opportunity poses itself, like here with LeBron and his son, people are up in arms about it because they're not used to seeing it, right? And at this point, Bronny, I don't give a shit if you like basketball. You gonna play, okay? You gonna play that ball though, okay? Bronny and LeBron didn't go through all of this for nothing, son. He planned on one of you two boys picking up this basketball and continuing the legacy. We see that with a lot of other athletes.
Yep.
Tiger Woods is another
Yep.
one, right?
Hmm.
They get different treatment. They are able to have their children benefit from their hard work, right? And I don't think that's wrong as long as the child really wants it. Don't use
And
nepotism
as
for
long
no
as they're
nothing.
also, as long as they're also, you have to deliver. Like we're not
Well,
just
this is
letting.
it,
You have to deliver. You
right?
can't. You can't suck. Like you might not
Right.
be the best, but you can't suck either.
No, you can't. And I feel like nepotism is used most of the time when you're mediocre. And this is an example. Sorry, Bronny, you're so cute. But Bronny, you see where your dad falling at the league? You is 55, mention. You're 55. I don't mean to laugh after you, Bronny, but you're just not there. You're just not there. And we saw that your dad had to work his ass off to get to where he is right now. And to be quite honest, if it were any other player, they wouldn't have made it to the Lakers. They wouldn't have made it to the Lakers. I'm sorry. They just wouldn't. When you have somebody like LeBron representing that team and all that he has done for that team, you got to come with your A game. And being 55, I don't know, that sounds mediocre to me. You're not even in the top 10, bro. So that's mediocre to me in the league, right?
Mm.
And so that's when I think nepotism has to come into play. Because if he was great, there would be no need for nepotism. He'd make it on his own, right? But it's because he's not, right? And so yeah, I think he deserves the leg up. So tell me what you think about nepotism while black. Do you think that it's a big issue when we use it? Why is there so much attention? What do you think is a reason?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of social media or like I was saying, my theory is because it's actually very common. I think we pay attention to it more with celebrities, athletes, actors, musicians because they're in the public eye.
Right.
We know them, we see these kids grow up or whatever, so it's more noticeable maybe, but everybody does this, even in the middle class. I actually found this um consensus data, or sorry,
Mm-hmm.
census data from the US. It says that it's actually everybody does it. So this says
Yeah.
that 22% of men whose fathers were present in their teenage years will work for their same employee at the same time as their fathers.
Yeah.
So I mean, we know this, but just to put numbers alongside it, I don't have access to Canadian data, but in the US it's definitely happening, and even in the middle class, and it's happening across races. It's not a race thing, as we've learned. But I think it looks more glaring, like you said, in terms of right now with LeBron or any of the black celebrities who might do this. Is it just the number of elite people that are black in the US
Mm-hmm.
versus white in the US
Mm-hmm.
is very unbalanced. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
So you're gonna what I'm saying is that there's less black people who have that kind of huge legacy that they can pass to their
Mm-hmm.
son in such a public way. And LeBron
Mm-hmm.
is one of those people. And so there's a lot of attention, and then obviously the nepotism conversation happens.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why I don't care what people say, black or white, in the terms of this argument. Is it's been done through the life cycle of history and human life.
That's right.
So unless
Well,
people,
yeah, and I think you know what. I think Black people have to be extraordinary to get
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
positions
Yes, to get to these elite
where
positions.
they
Yeah.
can align their children,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to be quite honest, like that's why I said earlier that I don't care if Bronny even likes basketball at this point. You go play.
You gonna
Because
play?
guess what? Your father had to work damn hard to get to the position that he's in. Now, is that fair to him? No, because he should be able to choose whatever career he wants. And to be quite frank, let's just keep it a buck. Bronny ain't gonna lose no he ain't gonna lose no commas. Okay, he's still gonna be rich. He's still gonna
Mm-hmm.
have money. He's still gonna be in a position where a lot of black kids are not. And so even if he just settles on going to school, he'll be going to the top school. So but he has chose to go. And so even with him being young, inexperienced, mediocre, his dad is pulling the strings and saying, "Nah, my son is going to be on my team."
Mm-hmm.
He could do that because he's put in the work, right? And so I understand that everybody uses nepotism, but for some
Mm-hmm.
particular reason, it's more pronounced when black people do.
Mm-hmm.
We've listed reasons why, but
Mm-hmm.
why is it that it's focused on? Why is it? Because nepotism happens all the damn time in every other culture,
Mm-hmm.
except when black people do it. Now we want to have debates and should Bronny be in the league and why?
Yeah,
Like, why are y'all that?
yeah, exactly. And I wonder if, because LeBron himself is a controversial figure, so I'm wondering if it has to do with that, or because a lot of people. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. A lot of people of the non melanated, because LeBron was very vocal during Black Lives Matter and all those things, are not a fan of him. They think he's like a woke social justice warrior or whatever, and they put him in that category. So he gets a lot of general hate from that side. And obviously, even in our side, there's controversial because the comparisons to Michael Jordan. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think he's actually just one of those people that people like to hate.
Right. But
So
Michael
there's an
Jordan was
element.
hated too.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's
He
so
was
funny.
hated, still is to
He
the
was
day.
hated very much.
Okay.
And then when they
Ask
did
Charles
that
Barkley.
documentary on Netflix, he was hated even more. So.
Charles Barkley will tell you a mouthful. Okay? He don't like him. But you know what? To be to be quite honest, greatness usually stands alone. So, people in positions that they work hard. Like, let's not take away the fact that they had to work hard.
Yes, and like you mean
And
in
why
terms
shouldn't I
of
get the benefit of pulling my son along with me?
straight.
Why?
I don't know what the talk is about.
I
What's the
don't know
lawn?
what the big sisters did. Tell me, please. Thanks. Because, like,
So
everybody's up and down. Oh, well, he shouldn't even be on the tape. And, oh, this is just a publicity for the Lakers. And, oh,
and
da-da-da-da-da. Oh, Lord
we're
God.
talking about the Lakers, so the Lakers are winning regardless.
Amen. You think
So
the Lakers didn't know?
they
Please.
knew. Oh yeah, they. I heard word on the street allegedly. LeBron's manager Rich Paul was calling up all the other teams
Okay.
to not draft him,
Okay.
so that he would be open for the Lakers to choose him at their next number, whatever their next number was, which apparently
Mm-hmm.
was 55.
Right?
So yeah, so I was going to bring up. So we were talking about sports, and like we were talking about this. We didn't mention what about Coach Prime, Deion,
Yes.
Deion Sanders with his son, and that
Okay.
what's going on there. That's
All
a whole
right.
thing. Will Smith and his
Thank
kids.
you.
Hey,
Okay.
and if we go to the white celebrities, oh, I have to bring up Denzel Washington and his son. And his son climbed. I think his son put in the work
Right.
and work to be like an A-list. I would consider him now an A-list actor because he's done A-list movies. John David Washington.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the that actress Uma Thurman.
Yes.
and Ethan Hawke, her and Ethan Hawke have children, and their daughter is who's it's freaky how much the daughter looks like both of them.
Oh wow.
Maya Hawke.
Right.
She's
Okay.
been doing it up on Stranger Things and doing all these things. So she's
Right.
been. I can't say I don't know her talent level. I'll be honest. I haven't watched Stranger Things, but she's been doing a lot of big things.
Well,
And
I always feel that nepotism only comes into play when you are mediocre at something. Because if
hmm,
you are
oh,
extraordinary and you extend out
you
from the
forget about
crowd,
that. You
there's
forget
no
that their
need for
parents.
nepotism, right? Because
hmm
you will naturally gain that success just by being so good at it,
And
right?
I'll be honest, yeah, and I'll be honest. The actors that I know, particularly, I'll just say actors and musicians, where you could see the talent on display versus sports is kind of more relative, at least for me.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
like the actors that that expand past the mediocres, and you forget, like you almost forget, like you never forget because they might have their last name, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't like see them as John. I don't see like Zoe Kravitz as Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
No, I
She's
don't.
actually transcended that. She has an identity as an actress because she's that talented.
Yeah.
And just like what's his face that I was just talking about, John David Washington, there once you surpass that, oh, that's so and so's child,
Right?
then you got past the mediocre. But like,
Like,
let's say
look at,
Tori.
I'll give an example. Look at, I keep talking about Obama,
Mm.
but Obama's daughter, the
Oh yeah,
youngest
she's a
one,
writer. No, isn't the tall skinny lanky one, she's a screenwriter? Or no, you're talking about somebody else.
no, the Sasha. Sasha is the
Okay,
youngest one, I think. Yeah.
yeah, she's the youngest, yeah.
So the other day when she put out a book, she
Okay,
didn't use her name
yeah.
because she knew that nepotism would play a part if she carried her last name. So
Mm,
she published under, like, an alias type of name, right? Because just the name will carry nepotism,
mm,
right? So there's some up and coming young people who have famous parents who choose to go the opposite direction, who want to make their own name, who don't want the influence of nepotism.
mm-hmm.
However, it's always good to have. It's all
It help,
listen,
it open,
I don't think there's anything wrong with nepotism
yeah.
if
No,
it's used justfully,
yes,
right?
if you're not, yes, justfully, exactly. So you're going through the right channels. It will open a door,
Right?
but if you suck, you shouldn't get through that door. That's definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying talentless, useless people should be awarded. I'm just saying if they have the talent and they put in the work and their parent helped them get into the door, I don't have a problem with that. Anything else? No, I'm not about this shady backdoor business and
Exactly.
but I'm just
Exactly.
that's all I'm saying. That it's okay that the door was open, but they
Mhm.
need to put in that work.
And to be quite honest, when they're talking about Bronny making more money, that's where nepotism played for him because he
Mm.
was 55th. Okay. If nepotism really took part in this situation, he would be above
Here,
50.
yeah, here's
Okay?
and here. No, here's where it does play a part, where which I don't agree with, is that he got paid 5 times more
Mm.
salary than the person who's drafted the same number last
That
year. So
that
that's
that's
where
the
it's
part of
dark side.
nepotism that sucks.
Yeah, that's the dark side of it. Yeah.
That is the dark side of it. And but that's where nepotism really played. So
Mm,
Bronny had to have some skill. He had to have some skill, dedication to get even to 55, because to be amongst the rank, you have to put in the work. You're not going to get on that list just because of who you know. Because teams are actually signing you and they're paying you millions of dollars to come and play for their team. So you gotta have some skill. And nepotism, it shows its face in different ways. Is there a dark side to it? There sure is. But I'm a black woman. I'm gonna say this: that as black people, I think that we should use it as much as we possibly can. We should definitely put more people that are black into positions where we can help generations to come. We've
Yeah, and
had
we talk,
several
mhm.
decades, generations of not, and of being on the lower scale and not being of the elite, right? And so I feel like, why not? Why not? The elite have been doing it all this damn time. We've always been the underdog.
And we talk about legacy, right? And I think this is one of the things where people who want everlasting legacies, this is a common practice.
Right?
So,
Right?
hmm.
Shouldn't it be? Shouldn't it be? And so, with that being said, you know what? This talk of nepotism while black has been very interesting conversation. And those who don't like it, too damn bad.
Hmm.
Get yourself into a position where you're the elite. Okay?
Okay.
And that's what we're trying to. Hey, we're just trying to get a small piece of the pie. You guys been keeping the pie away from us. Okay, and now we want small piece, and I'm gonna, yeah, you're damn right. I'm gonna bring my kid along with me. You're damn right, because this is gonna, we're gonna, generations to come. Generational wealth is what the aim of the black community should be, is generational wealth. But with all that said, it was a blast talking about nepotism while black, and so we're gonna wrap the show up. We hope that your hearts and your minds were activated on this week's show. Whether you lead with your heart or your mind, please stay passionate, please stay thoughtful, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye.
Bye.